Welcome students to learning the Introduction to PowerPoint, Chapter 1. The learning objectives for this video is to plan and prepare a presentation, add presentation content, view, rearrange, and delete slides, format slide content, insert and modify pictures, use smart art and word art, configure a presentation for distribution, and present and distribute a slideshow. PowerPoint is the leading presentation software used across the globe. It includes tools you can use to create dynamic, engaging, and professional-looking presentations. A PowerPoint presentation, also referred to as a slideshow, is a collection of slides. The slides are referred to as a deck of slides because of ease at which they can be shuffled around like a deck of cards. The image shown here shows the first 4 slides of a PowerPoint presentation with various layouts and contents inserted. Learning the skills about PowerPoint will enable you to create your own polished and professional presentations. Whether used in business, the classroom, or for personal use, creating effective presentation takes time and planning to get your message across in any engaging way. Planning is considered the key to a successful presentation. It is recommended that for each hour of your presentation, at least 4 hours should be set aside for planning. As you plan for your presentation, you will determine the purpose of your presentation. Is it to inform, educate, or persuade the audience? An informative presentation could notify the audience about a change in policy or procedure. An educational presentation could teach an audience about a skill or a subject. Sales presentations are often persuasive calls to action to encourage the purchase of a product, but they can also be used to sell an idea or a process. Another type of presentation, a goodwill presentation, can be used to recognize an employee or acknowledge an organization. PowerPoint is even used to create banners. It will be important to know whom the intended audience is and their needs. Will it be a live audience or a kiosk setting? An interactive computer terminal available for public use, such as on campus, at a mall, or a trade show. Researching the audience will enable you to customize the presentations to their needs. Next, you will need to consider the content needed for the presentation. Keep the following in mind as you prepare your content. Ensure that all content is relative and on point to the desired outcome, whether that is persuading, informing, or entertaining the audience. How much do you already know about the topic, and how much do you need to research? What is the logical flow? What visuals should you include to support key ideas and engage the audience? And will there be handouts? Once you know who your audience is and how you want to communicate, you are ready to start preparing your presentation. Learning Objective 1.1, Planning and Preparing a Presentation. There are various steps that you should follow when creating a presentation. Step 1, creating a new presentation and adding a title slide. There are several options for creating a new presentation, such as starting from a blank presentation by clicking Blank Presentation. You can use a template which has consistent fonts, colors, and other design elements, but it also can include suggested content. You can search various templates using search options. You've learned about templates when working with Word and Excel. Another option is to use the Quick Starter feature, which creates a collection of slides to provide research and design suggestions based on a presentation topic. This is new to PowerPoint. The show and figure displays the various options. One of the newest features of PowerPoint is the Quick Starter. Quick Starter creates a collection of slides to provide research and design suggestions based on presentation topic. Quick Starter builds an outline with suggested sections, talking points, and properly attributed Creative Commons images to get you started. Although it does not create a finished presentation, it gives you a great jump start on your content. The show in here displays a search for bicycle safety. To create a blank presentation, click Blank Presentation on the home screen that displays when you launch the application. A blank presentation opens with one slide, the title slide. A title slide is the first slide in any presentation. The title slide usually includes the name of the presentation and the name of the presenter. In addition, a blank presentation has a theme applied, which is the default Office theme. The default Office theme is also the same theme that is applied when you open up Word or Excel in a blank form. Remembering from Word and PowerPoint, a theme has a predetermined set of colors, fonts, and effects that provide a unified look to a presentation. If you want to begin creating a presentation with a theme already applied, you can choose from a variety of themes that will quickly give your presentation a consistent and professional look. To begin a presentation with a built-in theme, click the thumbnail slide miniature in the right pane. A new presentation with the applied theme opens with one slide, the title slide. Once you have a presentation started, next choose the proper theme and variant. A PowerPoint theme, as already discussed, is the best way for an effective presentation. It is important to choose the right one that appeals to your audience and matches the content of the presentation. You can select a built-in theme when completed. To add or change a theme, choose from the Themes gallery on the Design tab. To apply a different color variation to your theme, you can select a variant. A variant offers 4 different color options for each theme. The shown figure here displays the Eon Boardroom theme with the 4 variant options available when creating a new presentation. When looking at a blank slide, you may think this looks like Word. When you open Word, you have a blank page. When you open up PowerPoint, you have a blank slide. That looks almost the same. However, there are differences. In Word, you can start typing right on the page. However, in PowerPoint, you cannot. In order to type or to insert anything onto your slide, you must use something called placeholders, which are objects on a slide that are enclosed by dotted borders. Placeholders hold specific content such as text, images, charts, and tables. You would have learned about objects when completing Word Chapter 2. As mentioned, before the title slide is the first slide in any presentation. The title slide typically includes the name of the presentation and the name of the presenter. It can also include a company logo, company name, or any other information that is important to be introduced to the audience on that title slide. As seen in this figure, there are placeholders for the title and subtitle on the title slide. Learning Objective 1.2, Adding Presentation Content. To add new slides to a presentation, you use the New Slide button on the Home tab. The New Slide button has 2 parts. The New Slide button, which is the top part, and the New Slide arrow, which is the bottom part. By default, when you click the New Slide button top part, it will insert a new slide with the layout of the current slide. The exception to this rule occurs after the slide formatted with the title slide layout, which then the next slide will always be the slide with the title and content layout. If you click the New Slide arrow bottom part, you'll be presented with various slide layouts that you can choose and then insert. Title and content layout is the most common layout used because it provides simple incorporation of text, images, smart art, video, tables, and charts into the content section of the slide. After inserting a new slide, you will see various placeholders included. Click inside the placeholder to add the content. Clicking on the border of the placeholder changes the border to a solid line and displays the sizing handles, which are white circles that display on the sides and the corners of the placeholders, and the rotation handle at the top, which is a circular arrow that you can then rotate the object. With the border selected, you can resize, move, rotate, or delete the placeholder. If the placeholder contains text, clicking on the border selects all the text within the placeholder, and any formatting changes you make will be applied to all the text in the placeholder. So let's explain this. In Word, you would have to select the actual text before you applied any formatting changes. In PowerPoint, you would just select the border of the placeholder that holds the text and then do your formatting. Another type of content is bullets and numbering, which enable you to organize your text in a list. By default, when you type text into a placeholder in PowerPoint, a bullet is placed at the beginning of each paragraph, automatically creating a bulleted list. You can convert a bulleted list to a numbered list by selecting the bullet list and clicking the numbering command in the paragraph group on the Home tab. Use the same technique to convert a numbered list to a bullet list. Use a numbered list if the list is a sequence of steps. The numerical sequence in a numbered list is automatically updated to accommodate additions or deletions, which means that if you add or remove items, the list is renumbered. If the list is not a sequential nature, but is a simple itemization of points, use a bulleted list. Although a bulleted list is the default layout for text content on a slide, it is good to keep in mind that bulleted text should be kept to a minimum and should only represent the key points. Often slides are text-heavy with slide after slide of bullet points. If your slide contains a great deal of text, the audience is reading your slide and they're not listening to you. Often the concepts of less is more and keep it simple are good approaches when you're designing your presentation and adding key concepts. There is a simple rule that you should follow when creating your informational slides, which is called the 7x7 rule. This means no more than 7 words across for each bullet, and no more than 7 lines down on each slide. Here are some suggestions for reducing the amount of bullet points on your slide. Cut down your content to the essentials only. Use multiple slides to split up your content. Splitting your content across several slides enables your audience to focus on one main idea at a time. And represent content visually. PowerPoint has a lot of tools to assist you with visually representing bullet points in a more interesting way. Often, many people want to share presentation content as they create presentations, and the reuse slide feature makes this convenient. If you want to add slides that exist in another presentation, you can import them without opening the presentation. The reuse slides feature saves considerable time as you do not have to copy and paste slides from another presentation. The imported slides display in a pane on the right side so that you can select the slide you want to import. To add slides that exist in another presentation, you can import them using the reuse slide feature. By default, when a slide is inserted into a presentation, it takes on the formatting of the open presentation. To keep formatting of the original presentation, you would select the box, Keep Source Formatting. Another way to add content is adding an outline from Word. Outlines create using Outline View in Word and can be imported to quickly create a PowerPoint presentation or to add in existing content. You learned how to create an outline in Word in Chapter 3 or Chapter 4 when you completed your work. With Word documents, PowerPoint uses heading styles to determine slide heading levels. You learned about styles in Word in Chapter 2. Each paragraph formatted with Heading 1 style becomes the title of a new slide, and each Heading 2 paragraph becomes the first level of bulleted text on the slide, and so on. The slides from Outline can be found on the New Slide arrow bottom part at the bottom of the list. Once selected, you would locate your Word outline file, and PowerPoint will automatically add the content to your presentation. Learning Objective 1.3, Viewing, Rearranging, and Deleting Slides. As you develop your presentation, you navigate between slides, rearrange, or delete slides. The various views available in PowerPoint will make it easier to complete these tasks. When you create a new presentation or open an existing presentation, the presentation will open in a default view called Normal. While in Normal View, you can reduce the size of the thumbnail pane. Doing so will expand the workspace so you can see more details while editing content. To hide the thumbnail pane, drag the border that separates the thumbnail and slide pane to the left until you see the word Thumbnails display. To restore the view, click the arrow at the top of the collapsed thumbnail pane, or click the View tab and click Normal in the Presentation Views group. You can also widen the thumbnail pane to show more detail, dragging the border to the right between the thumbnail and the slide pane. In addition to Normal View, PowerPoint offers other views to enable you to work efficiently when creating slides as discussed in the displayed table. All views are found on the View tab, and the most frequently used views are on the right side of the status bar. The view you use depends on the task with which you're working. Note, you will often switch to slideshow view so that you can get a feel for how your presentation will be seen by the audience. Pressing the F5 key on your keyboard is a quick way to do this. This keyboard shortcut will start at the beginning of your presentation in slideshow view. If you want to start viewing on the current slide, click slideshow on the status bar. If you want to view your slideshow from the current slide using the keyboard command, you can also use Shift F5. There are times when you will want to rearrange your slides. If the slides you want to move are close to each other, you can drag and drop them in normal view. Click on the thumbnail of the slide in the left pane and drag the slide to the new location. Release the mouse button and the slide will be placed in the new location. If you have a lot of slides to move and rearrange, or if the slide and its new location are not easily seen in the thumbnail pane, it is easier to do this in Slide Sorter View, as you can see more slides in this view. In Slide Sorter View, move the pointer over the slide thumbnail of the slide and you want to move and drag to the new location. To move multiple slides, hold down Control while you select each slide you want to move and drag them to the new location. There will be times when you will want to delete slides from a presentation. Slides can be deleted in Normal View, Slide Sorter View, and Outline View. In Normal View, select the slide in the thumbnail pane and press Delete on the keyboard. You can also right-click the slide to be deleted and select Delete Slide on the shortcut menu. Learning Objective 1.4, Format Slide Content. As you continue to build your presentation, you'll want to make modifications that will enhance the presentation. You can change theme colors and fonts that you feel are more appropriate for the presentation, as well as change slide layouts to better showcase the information. The impact of visual content is well documented. Images and illustrations can be used to convey emotion or illustrate your point. Adding smart art and word art can improve the presentation's appearance and design. If you found a theme that you initially applied to the presentation, but the colors or fonts are not working for your topic, you can change them. With some of the theme choices, you may not notice much of a change when changing one or both of these, but others may have more significant impact. As you continue to modify your presentation, you will find that there are times when a different slide layout may showcase the information in a better way. Multiple slide layouts are available for each of the themes. You can also customize a layout if you cannot find exactly what you need. Slides often need text formatting changes to better emphasize important information. You can use the text formatting tools on the Home tab in the Font group to assist you in formatting text. Each theme has its own set of coordinating colors. However, in some instances, you might want to choose a different set of colors for the theme. Perhaps you would like the colors to better match a corporate logo, or to offer better contrast, or to coordinate better with a selected image. To change the theme color, click More in the Variants group on the Design tab and click Colors. There are numerous color combinations available. Select the color theme in the gallery. Theme fonts include two settings, one for heading and another for body text. The heading font applies to all title placeholders, and the body font applies to text and other placeholders, including default text in charts, tables, smart art, and individual text boxes. Using these two fonts for most text helps establish a consistent look through presentation. If you'd like a different set of fonts from those that were applied with the selected theme, you can choose from a built-in theme font sets. Various font combinations are available that are designed to work well together. To change theme fonts, click More in the Variants group on the Design tab and click Fonts. Select the theme fonts from the gallery. PowerPoint provides a set of predefined slide layouts. Slide layouts determine the position of a placeholder on a slide, and each slide layout is defined by the type of placement of placeholders. When you click the new slide arrow on the Home tab, a gallery of layouts is displayed. The current figure shows the layout gallery available when you select the blank presentation with the Office theme. The display table describes some of the most common slide layouts. The number and type of layouts will vary depending on the theme or template chosen when creating a presentation. When you create a new presentation, the text formatting is determined by the theme applied. Recall that even a blank presentation has a theme, the Office theme. Themes include a default font, font size, and font color for text and placeholders. However, there may be times when you want to format text so it stands out from the rest. To apply formatting to text, text must be selected. If you want to apply formatting to all the text in the placeholder, click the border of the placeholder so that the border changes to a solid line. Use the commands in the font group on the Home tab to apply formatting to the text. As you format the text, keep in mind the following text design guidelines. Avoid using underlined text. Underlined text is harder to read and is generally assumed that underlined text is a hyperlink. Avoid using all capital letters. In addition to being difficult to read, words and phrases in all caps are considered to be yelling at the audience. Use italics and bold sparingly. Too much emphasis using italics and bold is confusing and makes it difficult to determine what is important. Be consistent in capitalization in title placeholders and punctuation in content placeholders. Avoid leaving single word hanging on a line of its own. And modify the placeholder size or press Shift-Enter to create a soft break so that more than one word is on a line. Learning Objective 1.5, Inserting and Modifying Pictures. Pictures can be used to add meaning to your message. Often visually representing an idea or key point is more effective than using words. You can insert pictures from your own library of digital photos that are saved on your hard drive, OneDrive, or another storage medium, or you can insert an online picture using Bing from PowerPoint. Once you've inserted pictures, you want to enhance your appearance on a slide by resizing, cropping, or adding a picture style. PowerPoint has tools available using the Picture Tools Format tab to accomplish this. The table that's displayed here shows the many graphic file formats that PowerPoint supports. There are two ways to add a picture that you have saved, either on your storage device or your location. One way is to use the icon in a content placeholder that is available on the title and content and other slide layouts. The display figure shows an example of a placeholder. There are two ways to add a picture that you have saved to a storage device or location. One way is to use the icon in a content placeholder that is available on the title and content and other slide layouts. The displayed figure shows an example of a placeholder with a picture icon. When you insert a picture in this manner, the picture is centered within the placeholder frame and is sometimes cropped to fit within the placeholder. This effect can cause unwanted results, such as the tops of the heads cropped off. If this situation occurs, undo the insertion, enlarge the placeholder, and then repeat the steps for inserting the image. Another way to insert a picture is to click Pictures on the Insert tab. The advantage of this method is that your picture comes in at full size rather than centered and cropped, and you do not need a picture placeholder. You can then resize the picture to fit that desired area. When you add an online picture using Bing, the images available through Bing comply with the Creative Commons license system. It is important that you read the Creative Commons license for each image you use to ensure you have the proper permission to avoid copyright infringement. Keep in mind that legal rights to use images you find on the internet are a gray area for many reasons. Most search engines do not have reliable filters to distinguish between copyrighted and non-copyrighted images. It is difficult to know whether the image you want to use is in its original form or copied from another site. Therefore, it is recommended that you use Creative Commons and follow their licensing agreement to be safe when using internet resources for images. A copyright provides legal protection to a written or artistic work, including pictures, drawings, poetry, novels, songs, movies, computer software, and architecture. The owner of the copyright may sell or give up a portion of his or her rights. For example, an author may give distribution rights to a publisher and or grant movie rights to a studio. Infringement of copyright occurs at any time a right held by the copyright owner is used without permission of the owner. Anything on the internet should be considered copyrighted unless the site specifically says it is for public domain, in which case the author is giving everyone the right to freely reproduce and distribute the material, thereby making the mark and the work owned by the public at large. A work also may enter the public domain when the copyright has expired. Facts themselves are not covered by copyright, so you can use statistical data without fear of infringement. Images are protected unless the owner gives his or her permission for downloading. You can resize a picture by dragging the sizing handles on a selected picture. Click and drag the corner sizing handles until the picture is the size you want. The corner sizing handles will resize the picture while preserving its original aspect ratio. If you use the top, side, or bottom sizing handles, the image becomes distorted. To resize a picture to an exact size, select the picture. On the Picture Tools Format tab in the Size group, click the Shape Height or Shape Width and type the new size. You may want to position a picture or object on a slide in an exact location. Using the Position function gives you a very precise control of where your slide objects are located. Another way to organize your pictures is cropping. Cropping is a picture using the crop tool enables you to eliminate unwanted portions of an image. You can crop it manually to any size you want, to a preset ratio that enables you to crop a picture with an exact measurement and fit it into a predefined space or to a shape. The figure here shows manual cropping using crop handles. When you crop a picture, the crop portion does not display on the slide, but it is not removed from the presentation file. This is helpful in case you decide later to reset the picture to its original state. When you crop an image, because the unwanted portion of the images are not deleted, the file size is not reduced. Use the Compress Picture feature on the Picture Tools Format tab to reduce the file size of the image, or all images at once to reduce the file size of the presentation. PowerPoint offers a variety of styles that can be used to apply borders and other formatting to pictures to give your images a more visually appealing style. You can apply styles with different borders, border weights, shadows, and reflections, as well as different shapes such as rounded, rectangles, and ovals. When you click on a picture, the Picture Styles on the Picture Tools Format tab becomes available. There's a figure here that shows 4 of the possible picture styles. Learning Objective 1.6, using SmartArt and WordArt. Bullet points are an effective way of highlighting key points that are being made in a presentation. However, a presentation with just bullet points can lead an audience to fatigue and boredom. To break up the visual boredom and to add an extra means of communicating your message, you can use something called SmartArt graphics. SmartArt enables you to communicate information visually with graphics instead of plain text. SmartArt types consist of list, process, cycle, hierarchy, relationship, matrix, pyramid, picture, and you can find more additional layouts at office.com. After putting your words on a slide in bullet points or list, you may realize that the content might be more interesting when put into a SmartArt graphic. Instead of creating a SmartArt graphic from scratch, you can convert text to a SmartArt graphic by selecting the placeholder containing the text and clicking Convert to SmartArt Graphic in the paragraph group on your Home tab. You can also select the text, right-click the placeholder, and then select Convert to SmartArt. When the gallery opens, click the layout for the SmartArt graphic, or if you do not see a layout that you will work, click More SmartArt Graphics as shown in this figure to open the Choose SmartArt Graphic dialog box for additional choices. Sometimes it is useful to emphasize a word or short phrase. Although you could use bold or change the font size or color, those modifications may not provide the additional emphasis you want. In these instances, you can call attention to text on a slide by using WordArt. You can apply WordArt formatting to existing text or insert a text box with WordArt formatting applied. The WordArt feature modifies text to include special effects such as color, shadow, gradient, and 3D appearances. When you create WordArt, the WordArt gallery has a variety of text styles to choose from, as well as the option to change individual settings or elements to modify the style using the text fill, text outline, and text effect options in the WordArt style group on the Format tab. Color choices are dependent upon the theme you select. WordArt can anywhere in your presentation. For example, you can apply WordArt formatting to a slide title or body text. Using WordArt sparingly and keeping the design simple on your slides can create a great impact. Using too much WordArt, adding complex designs and adding lots of effects will distract from the slide's appearance and readability rather than enhance them. You can create WordArt by clicking WordArt in the text group on the Insert tab. When the gallery opens, choose a style and type the text in the word art placeholder. Additionally, you can also do it the other way around by converting existing text to word art by selecting the text and clicking More in the Word Art Styles in the Format tab, and then selecting the desired style from the word art gallery as shown in this figure. When you create word art, the word art gallery has a variety of text styles to choose from, as well as the options to change individual settings or elements to modify the style using the text fill, text outline, and text effects options in the word art style group on the Format tab. Word art effects includes a unique transform option. Transform can rotate the word art around a path or add a warp to stretch, angle, or inflate letters. The displayed figure here shows the wrap or warp options available in the Word Art Transform category. Learning Objective 1.7, Configure a presentation for distribution. After you create the presentation, there are still important things to do before you're ready to distribute or present your presentation. You will need to add some finishing touches to the presentation, such as including speaker notes, checking spelling, and adjusting printing options. You can also add identifying information to slides or audience handouts by inserting headers and footers and slide numbers. After all those adjustments, you should look at the handouts in print preview and run the presentation in slideshow and presenter view to ensure it looks the way you want when distributed and during the presentation. You can enter and view your speaker notes using the Notes pane or Notes page view. If you have a lot of speaker notes to add to your slide, you'll want to use the Notes page view. If you have just a few notes to add, rather than change your view to Notes page view, you can change normal view from a 2-pane view to a 3-pane view as shown in the displayed figure. To display the Notes pane, click Notes on the status bar. The Notes pane displays below the slide pane. Drag the splitter bar between the slide pane and the Notes pane up to expand the Notes pane. The notes will not be displayed to the audience during the presentation, but you can view them in presenter view or print them for reference as you deliver the presentation. Only a footer can be added to slides, but both headers and footers can be added to the handouts and notes pages. As the theme controls the placement of these elements, you may find headers and footers in various locations. As a default, no information is included in the header and footer. You can apply a footer to all slides, the current slide, or omit footer from the title slide by selecting Don't Show on Title Slide. Headers and footers can also be customized with font color, type, and size. You can set date and time options in the header and footer dialog as shown here. You can also update automatically or have a fixed date. Click Update Automatically if you want the date to always be current. Once you select Update Automatically, you can select the date format you prefer. Alternatively, you can choose the option to enter a fixed date to preserve original date, which can enable you to keep track of your versions. After you create the presentation, check it carefully for spelling errors, incorrect word usage, and inconsistent capitalization. Nothing is more embarrassing or can make you appear so unprofessional than a misspelled word enlarged on a big screen. Learning Objective 1.8, Present and Distribute a Slideshow. After creating and proofing the presentation, you'll want to view it so you can see how it will appear to your audience. PowerPoint has several ways to do this. You learned about 2 ways in the Use View sections, which is Slideshow View and Reading View. Presenter View is another way to view the presentation. Presenter View requires the use of 2 monitors when presenting, but can be accessed with just one. PowerPoint has several ways to print and preview slides, handouts, notes, and outlines. A printed copy of a PowerPoint presentation can be used as speaker notes for references during the presentation, for audience handouts or a study guide, or to deliver the presentation if there is an equipment failure. A printout of single slide with text on it can be used as a poster or banner. The main goal of creating a PowerPoint presentation is to deliver a message to an audience. As mentioned earlier, when you present a slideshow, you use Slideshow View. Slideshow View displays the presentation in full screen, one slide at a time. You advance from the slide to slide by clicking the mouse or pressing the space bar or almost any other key. You can also use the directional arrows on the keyboard to advance or reverse through your slides. If it is easier to use controls on the monitor rather than the keyboard, hover the pointer over the bottom left corner of the presentation to reveal on-screen controls. Use the right and left arrows respectively to move forward to the next slide or backwards to the previous slide. If during your presentation you need to jump to a slide out of order or to refer back to a previous discussed slide, select Show All Slides in the on-screen control. Thumbnails of each slide will display, enabling you to navigate to the exact slide that is needed. PowerPoint also has some convenient tools and features you can use while presenting your slideshow. For example, use the laser pointer, pen, and highlighter tools from the on-screen controls, or by pressing Ctrl P to draw attention to specific areas of interest on a slide. You can magnify a part of the slide to enlarge hard-to-read details. For example, if you have a table of data that you would like to enlarge during the presentation, click the magnifying glass from the on-screen controls, and then click the section of the table data you want to magnify. To revert back to the standard view, press Escape or click the magnifying glass icon again. After the last slide is presented, the presentation will end with a dark screen. Click the mouse or press the space bar to return to normal view. If you want to exit the presentation before the last slide is reached, press Escape or click More Slideshow options on the on-screen controls and select End Show. Presenter View is a valuable view that enables you to deliver a presentation using two monitors simultaneously. Typically, one monitor is a projector that delivers the full screen presentation to the audience. The other monitor is a laptop or computer that displays the presentation for the presenter to refer to in Presenter View. Presenter View includes a slide, a thumbnail image of the next slide, and speaker notes you have created. Presenter View can be accessed from the Monitors group on the Slideshow tab. If you want to see what Presenter View looks like or would like to practice using Presenter View until you have access to a second monitor, you can switch to Presenter View from Slideshow View by clicking More Slideshow options from the on-screen control in the lower left corner of the slide and selecting Show Presenter View. Alternatively, you can press Alt F5 on the keyboard while in normal view to start Presenter View. The default print setting prints each slide on one full page in landscape orientation. Although PowerPoint slides are designed to be viewed on a computer, there are many ways and different times when you may want to print a full page slide to review or edit a printed copy. Before printing, preview the slides to ensure they look as you've intended for it to be printed. Another way to distribute your slides is through handouts, which can be used as a reference for you and for your audience. You can print the handouts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 9 slides per page. Printing 3 slides per page is a popular option because it places thumbnails of the slides on the left side of the printout and lines on which the audience can write on the right side of the printout to take notes during the presentation. Which handout option you choose will be dependent on what your intended purpose is for the handouts. Let's move on to Module 4, PowerPoint, Chapter 1, Practice Assignment. If you have not properly downloaded this assignment, pause this video and download the assignment files from your MyLab IT account. Again, if you're unsure how to properly download and extract the files, please review the video on how to complete a project assignment. For this assignment, you are the director of a convenient harbor and will be offering a winter day camp opportunity for boys and girls in grades 1 to 6 during the winter break from school. You've been asked to put together a presentation to advertise the winter camp. Step 1 is to open up the PowerPoint presentation, Winter Camp. Remember, to find that file, MyLab IT will already have your name at the beginning of the file name. Save the file to the proper location with all the other files that you've extracted. Step 2. Change the theme variant to the blue variant, which is the first row, 4th column. So clicking on the Design tab. In the variants, we want the blue variants. Step 3. Change the theme font to Trabected MS. To change a theme font, we click on the More option under Variant, click on Fonts, scroll down till we find what the instructions are asking, which is at the very bottom. Step 4. On slide 1, type Winter Break Camp in the title placeholder and Friendships and Memories in the subtitle placeholder. You will notice that when you're typing, that it is typing all in capital letters, whereas the instructions are showing capital letter title and lower letters. The reason why when you're typing this out as per the instructions and the PowerPoint is typing all in capital letters is because of the theme. So the theme and the fonts you choose automatically are capital, so that is okay. Step 5. Add a new slide after slide 1 with the title and content layout. Type Overview in the title placeholder. So clicking on Home, New Slide, and selecting Title and Content. And then in the title, we're going to type in Overview. So again, same thing. It's typing all in capitals. This is okay because it's the theme that has been chosen. Step 6. Type the following bulleted text in the content placeholder at the level listed. So dates, first level, and then it displays dates. So if you read your instructions for this assignment, it will tell you everything that has to be typed out for this section. So just to discuss quickly about first level and second level bullets, again, this would have been shown to you in Word, but to repeat it again for PowerPoint, level 1 bullets are to the far left. Second level bullets are indented, so you can either use the tab key to tab in, or up here at the top, you can use the increased list level or decreased list level is how you would go from level 1 to level 2, back to level 1, etc. Step 7. Use the Reuse Slides option to insert all of the slides from the Winter Break Camp after slide 2. So this is going to be a PowerPoint slide that was given to you in your files. So to insert using Reuse Slides, we're going to select after slide 2 in our task pane. We're going to click on Reuse Slides. Now, if you do not see Reuse Slides here, you can also click on New Slides and choose Reuse Slides. Once you choose Reuse Slides, you're going to get a task pane on the right-hand side, and you're going to find your file. So you'll notice that Winter Break is already coming up, which is great. If it doesn't come up, then you have to find and search for it. So to do that, you click on Browse, and then you browse for your file. Okay, so wherever you extracted all of those files is where you're going to locate it. So I'm going to choose the content. And if you're using the updated version of PowerPoint, you should have an option called Insert All, which is really quick and easy. If you're using an older version, you will not see Insert All, so you'd have to click on each of these slides to insert. So we're going to click Insert All and insert them all into our presentation. Step 8. Delete slide 3 and move slide 5, which is the sledding one, so that it becomes slide 4. So on the left-hand side, we're going to select slide 3 and delete it. And then we're going to move slide 5 and just do a drag. So we're going to click slide 5 and move it up to slide 4, and that becomes slide 4. The other thing is since we've done the reuse slides, we do not need this task pane anymore, so we can actually close that so that we have more of a workspace view. Step 9. On slide 1, insert the snowflake.jpg image. Crop the image on all slides so that only the snowflake is remaining. Resize the image to a height of 2.11 inches and the width to 2.22 inches. So to do this, we'd have to uncheck the lock aspect ratio in the size pane. So let's take this step by step. Let's first click on slide 1 and let's insert our snowflake image. So to do that, we click on Insert, Pictures from this device. and we're going to locate. So it's automatically take us to our picture folder, right? Because that's defaulted to our computer, but we have to find where we saved our files. So my files are again in Documents, Humber College. So this is my file structure I created at the very beginning of the semester. And then there's my snowflake. So I'm just going to double click on it and insert it. And then the next part is to crop the image. So by clicking on my selection, I can click on crop. And I'm with these handles. So you'll notice these handles are not the same as your circle handles. These are little picture square, black square ones. So I'm just going to click on the left one and drag it in. And then drag this one in. So we're just going to do just a really quick crop. This is really cool. I use this all of the time. And once I just have the snowflake, I'm going to hit crop again. And just like that, I've cropped my picture. So now I'm going to size it to 2.11 inches and for the height and the width for 2.22 inches. So if I do my height and I do 2.11 inches, you'll see it automatically changes the width. So what happens when this happens is we have what's called aspect ratio turned on. So on your Mac, if you have a Mac, you should see kind of a check mark next to the height and width. And if you uncheck that, you uncheck the aspect ratio. For PCs though, you have to click on the size option here to open up that task pane. And then you're going to see lock aspect ratio that you're going to uncheck. All right, so that's the difference. So PC is in the task pane, Macs are up here on their toolbar. And then now I can change my width to 2.22 inches. Step 10, apply the beveled oval black picture style to be inserted in the image. Position the image horizontally at 3.7 and vertically at 4.3. Okay, so let's first do our picture style. So selecting our picture and then looking at picture format tab, and you'll see all of your picture styles. And we want the beveled oval black. So there we go. So beveled oval black. We're just going to select that one. And then to position the image, again, we're just going to use the same task pane for format picture. And we're going to click on position and change the horizontal and vertical position. So we want the horizontal to be 3.7 inches and the vertical position to be 4.3 inches. Now for Macs, to get that format picture task pane, if you right click on the picture, you should be able to see a shortcut called format picture, and then you'll be able to use that position that I just showed. Step 11, apply the fill dark blue accent color 1 shadow word art style to the text in the title placeholder. So if you remember from my demonstration earlier, to convert your word art, so we already have text, so we're going to select the object. So we're going to select the object, making sure that border is a solid line. We're going to click on shape format. And then in the word art styles, we can select the word art that it's asking us. So it wants the fill dark blue accent color 1. Okay, so this is the one it wants. So column 2, row 1. And you notice by selecting it, it now changes our stuff. So because we changed the word art, you'll notice that the B now becomes low. So we got to make sure we capitalize the B, capitalize the C, right? We want to make sure our titles are in proper grammatical order. Step 12, change the layout of slide 7 to panoramic picture with caption and add the snowman image to the picture placeholder and apply the drop shadow rectangle picture style. So going down to slide 7, to change the layout, we click on the Home tab, Layout, and then we select our option we want. So in this case, the panoramic picture with caption. you'll notice it gives us a placeholder and it gives us some design ideas. So this is new to 2019, the design ideas. So we don't want design ideas. We can just close that task pane. But with this placeholder, it says click icon to add picture. So we're going to click this icon. And then it should bring us back to our folder that has our picture for the snowman. So if it doesn't, then you just need to search for it and then click on insert. And then with the picture selected, we're going to choose the picture style drop shadow rectangle, which I believe is the 4th icon in on your picture format tab. Step 13, on slide 6, convert the bulleted list to a vertical bullet list smart art graphic. So we're going to go to slide 6. And the same thing is how we did the word art. Instead of selecting the text, we're going to select the placeholder, so making sure that it is a solid border all the way around. And then convert to a smart art. And then we're going to find the bulleted list called vertical bullet list. So if you don't see it here, which is the first one, so it should be the first one, but if you don't see it, then you click on more smart art graphics to locate it. So we're going to click on the first one, and just like that, we now have a visually masterpiece that doesn't look so boring. Step 14, type the following in the notes pane for slide 1. Join us for winter break camp and include the period. So we're going to go to slide 1. You'll notice that the notes pane is not here. So there's a few ways you can do that. If you look at the bottom of your screen, your mouse will turn to a double arrow. You can click and drag that up. Or you click on the View tab and click on Notes, and then it gets added. Once it adds the pane, you can then also increase that. So I mentioned that earlier in this video. So we're going to click to add notes, and we're going to click and add join us for winter break camp, and make sure we include the period. Step 15, create a notes and handout footer with the following winter camp details and apply to all. So notes and handouts in the footer is in the header and footer section. So clicking on the insert tab and clicking on header and footer. Now be very careful with your headers and footers, because in Word and Excel, it's only the one header and footer, right, that we have throughout our documents. In PowerPoint, there's two options. You have your slide and you have notes and handouts. So your slide option allows you to put things directly right on your slide. Notes and handouts allows you to put things on when you're going to print out your presentation. So make sure. So any changes you do here on the notes and handouts, you will not see unless you go to print preview. All right. So we're going to choose our footer. And in the footer, we're going to type in winter camp details. And then we'll apply to all. So that means that all the slides will get it, but only on the printed version of this presentation. So when I click apply to all, you'll notice that you don't see any footer, but if I click on file, print, and I change the view from full page slides to any of the handouts, then you'll see there's my footer. Okay, so that's where you'll see your footers. Step 16, check the presentation for spelling errors and make corrections as needed on the slides. So checking for spelling is the same thing that we did it for Word and Excel, clicking on the Review tab, clicking on Spelling, and then just making our changes. So you'll notice that today is spelt wrong, so we want to make sure we spell it correctly. And then click OK. Spelling is correct and completed. Step 17 is to save the document or the presentation and then submit it as directed. By now, you should know how to submit these files, so go ahead and submit it. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you've learned lots so far about how to create a simple but yet wonderful presentations.